Yo, people, quicker one than usual. But yeah, your man knows the usuals. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your people. Still at 70 subs, unacceptable now. Got to move up, got to push forward from there. But yeah, as I said, quick episode. There's not really many like new topics like to discuss in football right now. Everything's a bit still, obviously with the cancellations and stuff. So it's kind of, you don't want to regurgitate the same things. It gets boring. So yeah, but let's get straight into it. The game of the week was the London derby, Chelsea versus Spurs. I don't even know why it's even a contest because when they come Stamford Bridge, they never win. I think they only got one win in like 30 years. That's awful. But yeah, Chelsea got the 2-0 win. Deservedly so, if I'm to say. But let me get your thoughts. What did we gather? What did we learn? Because let me just start with my thing. It was more about the lack of quality Spurs have. I think that's what really showed. And I get what Conte is saying when he's saying the gap between the two is massive because you look at that team Tottenham put out, that's not top four worthy. If they manage to get it, which we'll talk about later, that's a miracle because bro, that team is lacking in quality. And Chelsea, I think Chelsea just in bad form, really. Obviously, yeah, you can say they don't have the quality of a City and Liverpool. I think we've seen that now, but they are much better than Spurs, isn't it? And you just saw the difference in quality. But let me start with Dan. What did you kind of learn and gather from the game?
No, I think I mostly agree with you, to be honest. I think that the main thing I gathered was how bad Spurs' squad is and how poor they were. Like, especially in defence and midfield, like Højbjerg, Winks, Skip, Lo Celso. These guys are your midfielders. Like, I mean, and Ndombele he can't last a full 90 minutes. And then you look at the defenders and you got Eric Dyer, Davinson Sanchez, Rodon, Romero. You got Ben Davis in 2022, Sessegnon. Like, these guys aren't good enough, not good enough at all. And I understand they're missing some players. Like, I understand Son is their second best player and he's missing. So you can kind of understand why they didn't really perform. But I definitely, even if they had their best squad, I don't think they have put up any real contest in that game. I think, like you said, the gap between Spurs and the top three is fairly big. But I think that's the same for the rest of the teams chasing top four. And I know we'll get onto that, but yeah, I was really disappointed with Spurs. I will say I think they were a bit unlucky with the disallowed goal. I personally think it was very, very soft, very soft. But especially with players like Thiago Silva, like this guy's been around for the best part of 20 years now, playing at the highest level. Like he knows the dark arts, he knows the tricks of the trade. Like that's the experience, and that's in my opinion, that's the difference between the top teams and the good teams. Because like even I don't know if anyone else watched the Spurs documentary last season or season before with Mourinho, and he was explaining the reason they don't win is because they're not nasty enough. They don't do they don't do all they can to win. Like they don't cross the line between what you can and can't do. They are too nice. And I think with Thiago Silva there, he's saved his team a goal. And even a couple of times in the game, I think he was very lucky not to get a second booking. But that's experience for you. And I think that's the difference between the real top teams and just the good teams.
Mm-hmm. Carl, what about you? What was your thoughts? Looking at it from both sides, what were you impressed with the Chelsea performance, and what did you pick up from Spurs' performance?
From the Chelsea performance, I thought it was a composed win. It wasn't. I didn't see Tottenham have a significant threat against Chelsea because of the way Chelsea kept the ball in the possession. Players have doubted, as in Ziyech and Mounts. At least it shows there is some quality there, like for Ziyech to put off those goals. As we saw at him and do at Ajax, but we haven't really seen too much. So it does give you glimpses of hope in terms of some certain players in Chelsea. But I do think they're way off where they need to be right now. But in terms of Spurs, as Dan said, the team is poor. If you look at the left side, Davies, Sessegnon, and then Burnwine, left striker. Conte's turned to 4 at the back for the first time in 3 years. So fair play to try to switch up the system. But I think now he will realize and say it's not his formation, his 3 at the back not going to work, 4 back not going to work. It's down to the players, and the players, I think the quality is not really there. I'm a fan of players that skip, but you just Højbjerg, Winks, pivot. It's not going to cut it in the Premier League for top 4 push, in my opinion, right now, as you saw in this game. I've been disappointed with a few of their players. Like Harry Kane, I don't want to put it all on him, but it's been a long period now where I know he did perform that Leicester game, but it's been a long period now where it's not looking positive at all. And Conte, the part of the reason why he joined Tottenham is because of guys like Harry Kane. And for Kane, the best player by a long, long way in that team, to not be getting much out of him, it's very worrying for them, to be honest. But we'll talk about the top 4 push, but Spurs, something's going to have to change, or they're going to have to bring in some players, because right now, there's a lot of guys in the team. Doherty, I don't know what he was doing in that game. He was, do you know what Dan said about he have to try being the nasty guy? He was trying to do that, but alongside that, you got to play the game. Like, he was just trying to cause havoc, but he wasn't doing too much in terms of football-wise. He was a lot of fouls, a lot of like off the ball nonsense, but he's not doing too much really. So yeah, I think it's really composed when Chelsea not too overly impressive if we're being really honest. But let's be honest, Spurs they don't really pose a threat against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge.
Are you worried about Lukaku? Or are you losing patience or anything?
The thing is, I'm annoyed. I am annoyed, but I saw glimpses again in that game compared to the other games, but it's very, very, very minute. The thing I'm worried about is not just the goals; it's the fact that on the ball he doesn't look comfortable. I'm going to be honest. I'm surprised. Because at Inter Milan he looks so fluid, but even now when he gets the ball in Chelsea, I don't know if it's confidence or what, but he looks like how Man United, and he has a bit of that stiffness about him. That I don't know. He's an unorthodox player, so he's always going to have. He's a big man. He's always going to have that kind of that stiff but very, very nice touch. But nah, I don't know. I don't know about Lukaku. You know, I really don't know. I'm going to give him time. You have to give these players time. I don't want to be. I'm not going to be reactionary and say anything till the end of the season about whether he has to go or stay or what. But it is worrying, Josh. It is worrying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Denzel, what about you? What did you gather from the game? Did you notice anything?
I think second half Chelsea dominated the game. They definitely deserved the win. Obviously the big talking point in the first half was the Kane disallowed goal. I feel like it should have been allowed. I don't feel like it was a foul, but then again, like Dan said, it's Thiago Silva using his experience to his advantage. But I feel like if that goal was given, it would have maybe changed the course of the game, because if Tottenham's whole game plan was get a goal and then probably sit back and defend, that's the way they set out and that's the way they set up. And I feel like playing that way against every single good side that you play against isn't going to get you very far in the league. I feel like they do what they need to do against the smaller teams. Obviously, they have games in hand. So if I was a Spurs fan, I wouldn't be too worried. But at the same time, I'll be worried because of when it comes to the big games, they don't perform. They have the same boring tactics. You know how Spurs are going to set up against big teams. You know they're going to try hit on the break and get a 1-0 win or something like that. Like, it's you see the difference in class when they play good sides. In terms of their top 4 chances, I feel like it's anyone's ball game at the moment. People are dropping points like nobody's business. It's like people don't want it this year. It looks like it from that standpoint. I don't know, things might change, but I feel like top 4, anyone can really get that last slot. Even Chelsea, you don't know whether they're securing that top 4 either. So it's interesting to see.
You know, Carl mentioned one thing earlier. He said use the word glimpses, and I've been telling Dan about Hudson-Odoi a lot because I've been worried about his progression. Because one thing that I noticed when he was coming through was just how explosive he was, especially 1v1, going at plays and how direct he was. And obviously, he got the Achilles injuries, and Achilles injuries are one of the worst injuries you can get in sport. And I kind of just noticed that tippedness about him, the way he used to play. It was very, very risk averse, very safe, innit? Initially, I put that down to game time, innit? He wasn't getting the consistent game times and stuff like that. But I remember this season when he started to get the minutes under his belt, he was playing a bit more consistently, I still wasn't seeing that direction, that pace, that intensity that I would expect from him. And I was looking at his stats, and it was like he only had he had less than a dribble per game, so it was kind of worrying. But then I think last game was the first time in a while that I've actually seen him really be direct and kind of be fearless and play with a bit more intensity and more aggression. And you saw that the goal, the Ziyech goal, really came from him beating Tanganga, driving the ball. One thing I'll never question about Hustle Doi is that he's a very clever player, man. His footballing brain is very good, very creative, but I just wanted that extra. But hopefully he can continue that and be of consistent use of that, because I think there's obviously a great player there. But let's move on to the top 4 race now. Let me pull up the table. So, Denzel, you were saying about Chelsea. Do you honestly think Chelsea in the top 4 race?
Yeah.
We think Chelsea in the top 4 race?
Yeah, I do.
So Arsenal,
I think Chelsea, United, West Ham, Arsenal, Tottenham are all in the top 4 race. I don't think Chelsea have quite propelled themselves away from the rest. I know it looks points wise, but I know people talk about games in hand, and it doesn't mean that much. You can drop your points with the games in hand, but when you do look at it,
no, I hear what you're saying, because Spurs can go above. If they win their games in hand, they go above Chelsea. If Arsenal win their games in hand, they go level with Chelsea. But
if United even win their games in hand,
I just think Chelsea have too much quality, to be honest.
We're not that far off if we win our games in hand as well. So
I don't think Chelsea in the top 4 race.
Yeah, I don't think they're in the top 4 race. I think they've got that 3rd spot. I think they've dropped a lot of points recently, but I think they've just kind of come out at the end of that stumbling block that they were in.
Like, Carl knows this. Chelsea are notoriously bad in December. Like, every season.
The thing is with Chelsea, they have spells of bad spells. The one thing they're not bottle jobs completely. So at the end of the season, they will do what it takes to get that, solidify himself in the 3rd position. From now, we might see a good run of form. But in December, it was always going to happen. Eventually, the system's going to start failing. But technically speaking, we are in a top 4 race, because it's not as if the league's done and dusted. But same way, we're not on ropes for that 4th spot. We kind of, even though obviously the game in hands do mean a lot, but we do have we edge more toward Liverpool than we do. The gap between Liverpool and us is closer than the gap between, say, Chelsea and United. No offense to United, but it just how it is. Yeah.
So Chelsea don't have a lot of hard games left, though. I think Chelsea have Arsenal at home, I think United away, and someone else at home, and that's the only big 6 games I think they have. Yeah. Whereas United still have to go to Arsenal away. They still have to go to the Etihad, I think.
They have to go to Liverpool.
They still have to go. They still have to go to Anfield. And the same with Spurs. Spurs still have to go to. They've just gone to Stamford Bridge. Spurs still have to go to Anfield, Old Trafford, and Stamford Bridge. And Etihad.
Yeah, that's big time.
So I don't see Spurs taking points from any of them 3 games. They might beat United at Old Trafford. It really depends which United shows up. But then I don't think they'll win against City or Liverpool away.
So let's actually do it like this. Let's go through team by team. So where's the cutoff point? So you think it goes to
7.
Yeah. So Tottenham's the cutoff point.
So if we're looking at United, what's the thing that's going to push them to top 4, and what's the thing that's going to hold them back? So
the thing that's going to hold them back is themselves. If they just, the way they've been playing has been very bad. Like, the way their performances have not really been impressive. The last 2 games, they've looked better, but they've not really been playing well. But the thing that will propel them to top 4 is just player quality. In terms of player quality and the level of players in the squad, they're far clear of the other teams, West Ham, Arsenal, and Spurs. Far clear.
Yeah, and 100, I agree as well. Josh, we talk about that clutch instinct. It's cliche, but this kind of stuff, obviously, this is where Ronaldo will come into play, and guys like Cavani will come into play on them big games where they just need that one goal, even if it's scraping wins, like terrible games, but just scraping away that last goal. As we saw at the West Ham game, to be fair, those kind of games, and Fernandez, to be fair, he can clutch up as well. Those kind of them messy wins at the end of the season, that pushes Man United just ahead in terms of that aspect. Yeah.
Denzel?
Yeah, like Dan said, ourselves. In the last 2 games, it's changed the system, so maybe he might stick with that system. Yeah, I just don't know with United. We're so inconsistent. Even the games in which we win, we don't play good football. So it's going to be a scrappy end to the season. I don't see us improving our football too tough, if I'm being honest. I feel like it's just going to be still going to be terrible football. It's just about getting the points on the board. And yeah, like Dan was saying, the individuals will probably, not even probably, because I don't know what's going to happen. You never know with United. But if we were to get that top 4 spot, it would be down to individual brilliance.
I think maybe the biggest downfall of United could be Ragnick. We'll have to see.
Why? How so?
Just the way he sets the team up at times, isn't it? I feel like sometimes you man are a bit too gung-ho in that sense, if you know what I mean. But I think obviously last couple of games you have kind of improved in a sense. I don't think you're
Yeah, because it's changed the formation.
Yeah.
Last 2 games.
So we'll have to see. And what could push you, yeah, is player quality really. Because yeah, you have some great individual players that could score out of goal out of nothing. Maybe utilizing Cavani more, maybe that could be another big thing. Wow, West Ham have scored the most out of all you guys. But what's the thing that's gonna push West Ham back? I feel like I don't know if their style, because they're not really like a team that dominates in a sense. And in the Premier League, if you're playing, I'm not saying they play with chaos, but if it's a bit end to end, you're a bit more in trouble. So I think their style might hold them back the most. And what could push them up the most is Declan Rice, isn't it? So that's my opinion. Dan?
I think West Ham are the thing that will push them the most is, like you said, I think they're very structured as a team, and I think they do have good players. But no disrespect to West Ham, I think of the 4 teams, they're the least likely to get top 4, and I think number 1 is because I don't think there's a lot of, bar Declan Rice, I don't think the level of player is like the top end. I don't think they have Champions League level players. That, and coupled with the fact that they have Europa League games and they have a very thin squad anyway, and FA Cup, I think next couple of weeks we'll see West Ham slowly slip down. I don't know. It's weird. I can see them finishing even below Wolves, if I'm being honest, just based on the fact that they have such poor squad depth and they've got a lot of games coming up. Like they're one Mikel Antonio injury away from no striker. If Antonio and Rice get injured, they're in big trouble.
Antonio's off right now.
They've got no defense as it is. Like they've got their 2 starting centre backs injured. I think with the upcoming games, that's what's going to hold them back.
Carl?
And I'd agree, but I'd say West Ham, even in terms of the quality of the first team, if they are missing like one centre back, as we saw of Zuma, they can be off as well. So even I even question the quality of West Ham's first team in particular. I know the system does work well, but I even see like Tottenham having better chance of top 4 than West Ham. Like, no offense to West Ham, but they are carried right now by a certain few players. If I'm being honest, Bowen's form is ridiculous, and the guy scored a lot of goals, and the system's working well. Bowen playing as like the second striker to Antonio, but even Antonio, if you look at him, he's not the best of players. You know, he's not actually the best of players. Declan Rice is a crucial part, way too crucial for their own good. If we're being honest, I think what pushes them forward, they're not passion merchants, but that you know, when the fans get behind West Ham, you know how they play. West Ham, if they're up for a game, they're taking anyone. Let's be honest. If they're up for a game, really, and they're not always up for the game, but say big games like Chelsea, they're taking Chelsea. Let's be honest.
Like Liverpool as well.
Exactly. So on West Ham on a day, not just because of passion. Let's not get twisted. They do have some good quality there, but yeah. That will drive West Ham. But if I'm being honest, the quality gap between the other clubs in terms of the rotation as well, it's just a bit too much. But 6th place West Ham, they're still good. Like they can't say it's not bad. It's not disrespect to West Ham. It's still a good position.
Denzel?
With West Ham, they're kind of doing better than they should be doing. Obviously, like you said before, the Champions League football, not Champions League, even Europa League football will come into play because of we know that they don't have as big a squad as the rest of those teams competing. So I think essentially squad depth will be their downfall. But you have to give them credit for even being in that conversation and being in Europe as well. So, but I just think they're probably going to end up in a Europa League spot again. But yeah, you never know.
Moving on to the London teams now, anyway. Well, the West Ham's London anyway. But Arsenal, what will push them forward, I think, is no European distractions. So obviously they have more time to work on the training ground and stuff like that. But what's going to push them back the most is their lack of experience. So, yeah. Dan, what about you?
I agree with you. I think the thing that will push them forward is we have no FA Cup, no Carabao Cup, no European football, so only focus on the Premier League. And compared to the other teams, we have a relatively easy run-in. Like Chelsea aside, because I've already, in my mind, they're already in the top 4. But compared to United, West Ham and Spurs, Arsenal only have like 2 away games against Big 6 teams left. And one of them is Spurs. And I mean, compared to the other teams, I think they have to go away to quite a few Big 6 things. So they're the 2 things that could help us. But in terms of what could draw us back, number 1, experience, as you said. And number 2, Arsenal don't have the top end quality that even Spurs or United have. Like Spurs don't have, we were even discussing earlier, they don't have the quality in midfield and defense, but they have that star power in Kane and Son that when you're not winning or when you're drawing a game, they'll just produce a moment of magic that will win the game. Like we saw it against Watford a couple of weeks ago, and for United against West Ham the other day. Just that quality to win you a game. And like even if you watched Arsenal against Burnley this weekend, we didn't have that quality. Like we threw away 2 points, which we really, really should be picking up. And I think that's what's going to stop Arsenal from getting in the top 4.
Carl?
Yeah, to keep it short, I think they've recognized they are in like a rebuild process stage. But I do think they do have some individual, not as a collective, but some individual qualities, as we've seen like Smith Rowe and the likes. So they do have an edge there over certain other teams. I think highly of Arsenal right now. I do think they're in arguably the highest chance of the 4th spot right now. Arguably, I think Arsenal, Man United, in my opinion, got the most chances of top 4 right now. So I'd agree with what you said, to be honest.
Denzel, what about you? What's your take on Arsenal?
I think with Arsenal, they played the best, arguably the best football of those. In fact, no, they play the best football at the moment out of the competing teams for the top 4. They're very good at getting points from smaller teams and mid-table teams. So I feel like that worked to their advantage. I feel like their downfall will be the big games though. That's where they tend to falter. So I'm not sure. Again, we'll see what happens. But with Arsenal, I feel like the big games issues need to be addressed.
And so the big game allegation, routed. Spurs. This one's simple. So their biggest thing is Conte, and their downfall is the quality. I thought
we all agree on that. Yeah.
And scheduling as well. They've got a lot of away games.
Yeah, definitely. And the 3 at the back can carry, if we're being honest. If Conte does it well, the 3 at the back can carry through dark times. Let's be real.
That's true. That's actually true. Yeah, the 3. Yeah, that's facts. Afcon. Denzel, you go. Talk about your precious pigeons. They got knocked out. I'm playing.
Whatever, man.
What's your thoughts on Ghana, man, getting knocked out in the group stages?
Well, firstly, I want to shout out Sierra Leone because I'm half and half in it. So I want to give a shout out to Sierra Leone, even though we didn't qualify for the knockout rounds. We showed we gave a good account for ourselves. People didn't expect us to even get a point in the tournament. So for us to almost get there, but not quite get there, but almost get there. Yeah, big up to Sierra Leone. I'm proud of them, man. With Ghana, it's just a shambles. Like, I had no hope. After the first game, I knew we weren't going to qualify. It's just my issue is the IU brothers. They're trash. They're so whack. It's all politics and it pisses me off. Like, these men are whack. Like, they don't pass the ball to their teammates. We have Sulemana on the left-hand side cooking. This guy is cooking on the left-hand side, yeah. Young, great prospects from, I think he plays for Rennes. 19 years old. Very, very good player. Very, very techie player. Skillful, rapid. And then you just have idiots like that. You brothers holding the ball all the time. RJU with his bald head, holding the ball all the time, not passing the ball. Jordan Ayew with his stupid mohawk, holding the ball, shooting, not passing the flipping football. Like, there was a moment where Ayew could have passed the ball. He didn't pass the ball. And then I think, I've forgotten what team it was. I've forgotten who he played. It was a Gabon. Gabon got the ball and then they scored from Ayew's mistake. And it got, I was fuming. It's like, with Ghana, it's all politics. It's like, I don't know, because of their Abadi Pele's children. So the managers love them off. Like, guess what? They're not good at ball. They're not good for Ghana. Like, we need to get rid of them. They are not good for Ghana. We need to stop this. Even like, I love Asamoah Gyan, but even we're playing Asamoah Gyan up front when he was washed. We play washed ballers all the time, and I don't understand why are you playing these washed guys? Yeah, but looking at that, why would Nketiah want to come play for Ghana? Why would Hudson-Odoi want to come play for Ghana? Why would Tariq Lamptey want to come play for Ghana when all we're seeing is politics in the team? Why are the Ayew brothers starting every single game? Why are they the focal points when you have a 19-year-old cooking on the wing and your focal point is this bold idiot who scores one goal and talks to a passion? Like, it's all a facade. It's just a Abadi Pele's children. That's the only reason why they're in the team, and it's so jarring. But another thing we have to say is the coaching as well. I think they've sacked the coach now. But I didn't even know who Donny was. I'm glad they got him up out of there. He's flipping terrible.
Apparently, he's the guy from 2010.
Yeah, really.
Apparently, I think I don't know if that was true.
I didn't even know that, but he's washed now. He's washed just like the Ayew brothers. He's washed. It's just we're living in the past. It's not 2010 no more. It's not Asamoah Gyan ball anymore. It's not World Cup in Johannesburg. It's gone now. We need to rebuild. And you know what pisses me off about Ghana as well, yeah, is we'll win the under 23 contests. Like, I feel like it was one of the the youth contests. We've won quite a few of them. Like, we've won the Youth World Cup, we've won a Youth Afcon or whatever. And where are all these players going? Like, what is happening to these players? They're just disappearing for who? The Ayew brothers. Why? What is going on? Like, we need to start developing talent better because we have good players. I've been to Ghana. I've played football in Ghana. I've seen the amount of ballers that are in Ghana. And what? We have 30-year-old Ayew brothers stinking up the pitch. Come on. Like, we can do better than this. We have a couple young talents coming through. The guy at Ajax, he's called, I think. Yeah. He's called. We have the guy from Roma as well, but Donny didn't want to play. I understand why. He probably would have been on the bench, the Ayew brothers. Again, I know I'm getting onto them, but it's just time for them to go. They've done a lot for Ghana, but it's time to step aside. Yeah, big clash in March. Obviously, Ghana and Nigeria to get the qualifying place. If we lose that game, God, it's whoever loses that game, it's going to be terrible. It's going to be terrible for that country. Cool. But yeah, I've let off my steam. And another thing I want to quickly say is I feel like this was a very good chance to win Afcon because of, if you look at what's going on in Afcon right now, all of the giants are falling. If the giants that are remaining have the best chance to win it because of like, it's just, yeah, I'm done. I won't rant too much longer. Yeah.
You know, because I want to talk about Nigeria as well, but you know, that's the thing with Africa is like the issues are almost all interlinked with each other from every country. And you mentioned the word politics, and that's a big issue Africa. I don't like to almost like generalize everybody, but you see it in a lot of these countries as well. Just like the infrastructure and the politics, where like you said, I've played in Nigeria with some guys, and even my cousin, shout out Shion, the guy is mad talented, but the ability to almost maneuver in Nigeria revolves around bribery, you know, who you know and all this. Like a lot of these countries, they don't even have fucking academies, bro. Man are playing in the street. They're just getting fruit sellers to come play for Nigeria. Some guy that will be able to play bribes. That's who they're playing. That's who's playing, bro. Fucking what's his name? Iwobi, all these man. It's just like what's it called? Some of these guys are shit, bro. Like they're not actually good at football, but because
like your ASOS model goalkeeper, yeah.
Bro,
My God.
Just biting his lips and vibes. That's it, man. Man's doing up stupid interviews on news networks.
Man said the Lagos Justin LA boy.
Man talk about like toxic women. Focus on your flipping football, idiot.
I don't even like to call players shit, but the reality is that because of the lack of infrastructure in terms of, all right, these guys are coming through, but they have no academies, they have no pathways because the league is so shit. Like the league, clubs don't even have academies where players can come through. Like it's that dumb, is that stupid, isn't it? And you like Denzel was saying about Ghana winning under 17. I've seen Nigeria win the under 17. I think that's where I first saw Osimhen and a couple other guys. But Osimhen's the only one I've heard of that's really gone on to do anything, really. The rest, you don't know about them because there's no path for them to almost stay together and almost like you nurture them and they grow and then eventually they go into the first team. That's the thing. And then you watch Afcon at times, bro, some of these men can't kick ball, bruv. Like, bro, they can't kick ball, bruv. Like, they can't control a ball. Like, they generally can't control a ball. Like, it's poor, bruv. Like, Afcon is just for entertainment. It's just for watching some idiots that doesn't know how to tell the time properly. Like, man's blowing in the... No, it's true, bro. Like, if we want better, we have to be honest. Like, we're having a referee that doesn't know the game stops at the 90th minute, and even then you still play more because you have stoppage time. The guy stops at the 85th minute, and he looks like he's ready to fight. Like,
I can't lie, it's a bit exaggerated though. Like if something goes wrong in Afcon, people exaggerate it a bit more.
They do to set aside
any mistakes.
Yeah,
any mistakes.
Like deep how many shit decisions there are in the Prem every week.
Yeah.
But they're not blowing whistles at like the 85th minute. Yeah. They're not doing that.
Yeah, I can't lie. I can't even defend
that. Was
a howl.
He did it twice as well, man.
Then they tried to get him to play the rest of the game. Like, come on, man.
That was a real disaster. I can't even.
The organization is terrible.
Even I was looking at like, I don't want to get into Africa because it's not good, but I was looking at the state of the pitches. The pitches are shit as well. They're fucking shit.
Now, Josh, you know what it is? You see what Denzel was saying as well about the young ballers coming through. There needs to be some kind of attractiveness to play in that for the country at that time, and that's what it is. Sometimes you feel like it's kind of political, but they're not doing enough to make it attractive to play for that country. They want to go to nice pitches. They want to play growing up knowing the academy guys are treated well, all this kind of stuff. Not just the big names, as you say, that the IE brothers, Denzel's favorite, obviously. Like, so that's what it kind of is. Otherwise, they go to, as you've seen, they might go to France and get treated, even in the academies, they're getting treated like kings, like beautiful academy, like infrastructures, all this kind of stuff. So yeah, like, and even the media, we have to look at the media as well, though, because they're nasty people, you know. Like at Sky Sports, the coverage is poor because on socials, they're not doing much for positivity in terms of Afcon and stuff, but they'll be quick, as Dan said, they'll be quick to highlight any mistakes, any controversy, any politics. They'll be on.
They don't even do match analysis.
That's what I'm saying.
They just it's bad, man.
Also, like, big up Jack Coblitz. He was saying to me how like they had so much potential for even like half time. There's so many good Prem legends from Africa, like they could have brought through, but they kind of failed in that aspect. There's so much they could have done with it, but obviously, hopefully, next year, or you may be going forward in the knockouts, might see different.
It's just the thing, because obviously there's the other thing where people say about Europe taking African talent, but Africa has enough talent in its own place to develop. Like Denzel was saying, there's many talented players. So I don't know. It's just a thing of infrastructure and improving the pathway for a lot of these young players, and actually picking players closer to meritocracy rather than on name and who they know in it. Obviously, there is always going to be an element of who you know, which I do hear in it. But yeah, it just has to do better in it. That's it, man. I don't want to get too harsh because it's unfair in it. You know, you could say it's just pure football what we're watching.
Yeah, because I think that problem happens everywhere, though. To be honest, like I don't think it's exclusive to Africa that players get picked on their name. Deep how many times England went to the World Cup or the Euros and was playing players that weren't in great form, but just had a big name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Euros 2016, we were playing like a 34, 35-year-old Wayne Rooney up front and shifting Vardy and Kane out to the wings, who had scored 50 Premier League goals between them. Like I think it's just a football problem in general, to be honest.
But yeah, Nigeria out. Is what it is, man. Another one's there. I say
We got Tunisia, man. COVID cases and no manager. They did their thing.
Yeah,
man.
I didn't even know that.
Respect to them. Big up to
13, you
Tunisia.
know.
They
Had
did
no squad.
Crazy.
No squad.
Crazy.
I think Ivory Coast, Senegal are the favourites. Morocco are kind of the dark horses. But
I think Ivory Coast will win it.
Cameroon, can't forget about home tax because home tax is a big thing. So Cameroon might push forward, but yeah, Nigeria out. They didn't do well. They didn't do well. Nigeria lost last, but they did this time.
Not last, but he lost against a depleted Tunisia side. So basically,
yeah.
In the one team that I want to see falter and fail is Gabon, because you know what? Because the situation that happened in that game that wasn't sportsmanlike at all. Obviously, you don't have to be true sportsmen in football, but you would like to see people actually be sportsmanlike. What they did was not. That was not P. That was not P. I'm sorry.
Explain for people that have
I think we had a player down injured, or they had a player down. I can't remember, but we kicked the ball out of play or something like that. And then I can't remember where it was. Something to do with the play should have been stopped, but they just carried on playing and then they scored from that goal. And then when they interviewed the manager about afterwards, he was like, "Oh, we don't have to be sportsmanlike. I don't know how they play football in Ghana, but here in Gabon, we don't do that." And I was like, "What the hell? How can you say that?"
Them things don't run around here, mate.
I was like, "You're a prick. Like, I hope you get knocked out in the next round. When Gabon get knocked out, I'll celebrate hard. I'm praying on their downfall. Because if they go on to win this tournament, I'll be so angry. What they did was disgraceful. Shout out to Comoros. They
still sourcing.
Yeah, Comoros. Yeah.
Shout out to Comoros. They beat us fair and square. Like, but they're depleted as well. But Gabon, I'm out for Gabon, man. I'm coming for you.
Hey, Gabon, you better watch out, bro. You better watch out. But yeah, you guys, that's it for us this week. You might know the usuals. Like, comment, subscribe, and share with your people. We out.